Apparently Slasher jumped on Destiny stream to talk about the Dr. Disrespect stuff. Blotted out some new information. We also get Dan and Jstlk on there at some point. So let's have a look.
Than ever for round 2. Anything could happen.
True.
Anything
Although,
could happen.
perhaps Biden has just adjusted the expectations of him.
Okay,
down.
I don't care about
The
politics.
work is over for everyone. But if you're Joe Biden, evidently bad, even being over.
That was literally how she got to fucking school. Biden, like, getting like, you don't have like in every.
Or like,
bro, there were literally like half the conservative population
going into this nowhere. And particularly only one conclusion.
No, I think a lot of them are uninformed or don't understand what they're talking about. Okay.
Decades or whatever. I'm college.
Shit, we just watched on stream like 4 or 5 hours ago.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we saw it. Yeah.
Okay.
I know, we watched it. We just watched on stream like 4 or 5 hours.
And he was like, yeah, I'm the best commentator. I was like, oh, well, I'm also going to probably be watching Thou Who Should Not Be Named.
I know, we will listen. I know, we watched it. We just watched on stream like 4 or 5 hours ago.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we saw it. Yeah, yeah.
So I wasn't. So if me bringing that up probably shouldn't have done it because obviously I knew where he would go, but I wasn't trying to fight with him about you. So I just kind of agreed. Maybe that is wrong of me, and I'm sorry for not.
That's good enough. I think you've said enough
honor.
so that if he watches back this clip, now he's gonna mold like crazy and DM you or
He shouldn't. As I was saying, I thought I was like, look, you two.
So wait, when Slasher was on, I haven't seen any of this. I don't really look at fucking Our Destiny or whatever, so I've got no idea. What Slasher said something about Destiny to Hassan and was basically like, I watched Destiny 2, you know, and then Hassan's like, wow, that guy's a fucking asshole, and then Slasher's like, yeah, sure, and then moved on. Is that it?
You should try to make up. And I was using the example of Richard Lewis, how I've been beefing with him longer than like you or you and Hassan have been beefing. I almost kind of made up with Keemstar this morning, okay? If me and Keemstar could at least have a truce, then you two fuckers can figure this out. That's all I was trying to explain to him, and I was trying to be like...
You know, Slasher being chill with Keemstar and with Destiny, but I thought he was like a brain-rotted culture warrior. I thought all he cared about was sides, and this was all about hurting right-wingers. And
yeah, that Hassan is basically like implying I'm like a pedophile, right? How the fuck could I make up? Like, this is a guy that visits brothels in fucking Germany is calling me a pedophile. Like, what? No, I don't think that's ever happening. Okay,
I wasn't expecting him to go as strong as he was when I was talking about it. Okay,
yeah, he's like he hates me. He spent like the last like 3 months obsessively talking about my kid, about my divorce, about my fucking personal life, about like anything to avoid actually countering an argument that I've said because he's incapable of doing that. Yeah, he's fucking unhinged.
After him for forever too. It's not.
Hold on, no, wait. I've been going after him because his arguments are dog shit and he's a horrible political commentator. It's not just like digging in on like random shit about his personal life all the time. There's like 20-minute compilations of him just like calling me divorcelli and talking about how I'm a Nazi now. Most of the vast majority of my coverage of him is like, why is he saying this? This is fucking retarded. I don't think he's done any research here. Like, this is completely fucking incorrect. That's like the coverage is like markedly different.
Okay, I can understand that. That's not good. That's not good. I also hate it when people go after me personally and it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I fully understand that. Not great. No. Bad. Okay?
Okay, Jesus Christ, Slash is fucking annoying. Holy shit. Get to the point, dog.
That's not good. I just need to get that out of my system. There's enough clip for him to watch now of you not standing up to me. Now he's going to mold like crazy over this. So.
Whoa.
It's fine. Both of you could think I'm an asshole. And both of your communities also. Hassan's community was talking a ton of shit to me once I mentioned you, and I'm sure all of your...
Yeah, you understand also, when he calls my community insane, you understand that Hassan lost, like, the largest podcast that he was a part of, the Ethan one. He lost that connection because of how unhinged his audience was and how much he was driving his audience to hate Ethan, right?
To Ethan, yeah. Not good.
Okay, so it's interesting that he claimed that, like, yeah, the DGG audience is insane. That's the thing that he says over and over and over again. But Hassan's audience actually lost him, like, the largest fucking podcast that he had been a part of, like, completely. Like, it's not even close to comparison. To compare the two things, but, you know.
All of your guys' communities are just very passionate, okay?
Oh, so it's all the same. Oh, okay.
we all have very strong communities. It's not like Hassan might have a bigger potentially streaming platform, but you have a bigger subreddit.
Yeah, we do. But the difference is on those lefty communities, the types of attacks that they greenlight are way more atrocious than what I'm allowed on mine. Like if we were greenlighting anywhere near the level of insane unhinged, like Hassan was just on a Wired interview promoting other streamers that made death threats and threats of physical violence against me for TwitchCon. Things like, oh yeah, if Destiny shows up, it's on site. Or if Destiny, this is why we need to kill all slave owner families. And Hassan's like, yeah, these are great people. Like, whereas on my side, if one person DMs Ludwig, who has 0 followers and 0 followers on his account, all of a sudden that's like an evidence of Destiny's community being unhinged and like driven to making threats, blah, blah, blah. Like the comparison is remotely the same.
Destiny's more accepted by Jews than you, Slasher. You know, probably. You're not wrong, Chad.
Jesus Christ, get to the fucking point.
The launching missiles at
Where's the Dr. District stuff? Okay.
The thought is infectious, or none of it fucking matters at all anyway, in which case who the fuck cares if somebody says the N-word or somebody like has some not rich. Try about go for it.
Did you read my piece?
No, I haven't time to do anything.
Okay. Here we go.
Did you just send was this today that you sent this to me or was it yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Fuck me, no. Because I streamed late last night because I had to argue with the XQC over unhinged.
Oh, did you? About what?
You don't trust me. You don't want to know. Okay, I'm seeing it.
What? No, for real. What are you talking about?
Over how big of a deal it is if Doc was talking to a 17-year-old or not, basically.
Oh.
And
what is your opinion?
You know what? We don't have to.
Fuck's sake.
Relitigate all this shit. What do you want to tell us about this? Do I need to? Do you want me to read it on stream? Do you want to go over it right now? What do you want to?
No. You don't have to. I mean, the new piece of information which I have reported, are that I have a direct source with knowledge.
So I just don't understand how it can't be predatory for you to be. He's doing it through his Twitch account too. It's directly linked to his numbers and his fucking character. Like, I don't know how you're arguing it's not predatory. It's obviously predatory.
Of the Whispers.
I haven't seen Destiny argue with the XQC. Maybe it does say it's predatory, just not that bad or something. I don't know, man.
Who was?
But the whole point of like the canceling or exposing shit was meant to be that it's if someone's misusing their platform. Now that seems to have fallen by the wayside, and we don't stick to that very much anymore, which is very painful. However, Dr. Disrespect did it. Like, this is the most clear-cut example of someone using their platform in that way, right? They were underage. He used his Twitch account. Like, he has to defend him sexting with the 15-year-old. Naked Ape was right. But he doesn't have to defend that. He didn't really sext, I don't think. He can defend the thoughts and the feeling while saying, yeah, I probably shouldn't have engaged. No one knows the age. Yeah, he didn't sex the 15-year-old. I don't think. He said she was 15, sent him pictures, which he said are bikini pictures. And they made it so hard to say no. He did say no.
Instrumental into the very small circle with firsthand knowledge of the case and impactful within it. And that Twitch employee, ex-Twitch employee, has told me that Doc was aware that the minor was a minor, was made aware that he was a minor during the conversations. And the conversations continued to be and even got more explicit sexually after that was acknowledged.
Do you know the age of the person?
Was not used in the reporting.
Are they 17 or are they younger than 17?
Why does everyone keep going to this she's 17 narrative? Because it was in that retarded email that everyone, a bunch of these fucking dipshits like tomfoolery took as fact for some reason. It was in that stupid fucking email. So it started spreading around. And now that Dr. Disrespect has admitted it to it being a minor, the idea of her being 17 is like the only way that some people are going to put their neck out to argue that it might be not that bad. So now the whole conversation is just defaulted to being on that because it's the only point to argue on.
I do not have comment.
What was that?
And the conversations continue to be and even got more explained. And what is your opinion?
Don't
are that I mean the new piece of information which I have reported are that I have a direct source with knowledge of the Whispers themselves, who was instrumental into the very small circle with firsthand knowledge of the case and impactful within it. And that Twitch employee, ex-Twitch employee, has told me that Doc was aware that the minor was a minor, was made aware that he was a minor during the conversations. And the conversations continued to be and even got more explicit sexually after that was acknowledged.
Do you know the age of the person?
Was not used in the reporting.
Are they 17 or are they younger than 17?
I do not have comment.
They were 9 years old.
Do you now? Okay, no. Without hearing your conversation, do you think that obviously, if there was a huge discrepancy between, let's say, a minor that was 17 and a minor that was 11 or 12 or like 13 or something, that feels to me like something that is more significant to point out. And I guess it's not necessarily the exact ages, but I felt if the additional information wasn't entirely necessary other than it is explicitly underage.
Okay.
Do you feel differently?
I don't actually know what the fuck you just said. It sounds like you're saying that if they were 17, 16, that's a possibility, but if they were 9 or 10, that probably would have come out because it would be so much more significant?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
What was your take with XQC? You could just give me the short version.
It's such a... Yeah, do you really want to have this conversation?
Yeah, spit it out, pussy. Why can't you stand on it? Come on.
My take on all this fucking internet sexual bullshit or whatever is, for me to care that much, when you're talking about like a 17-year-old or whatever, I need to see the logs. Otherwise, I just don't give a fuck that much. You shouldn't be doing it. The doc, if he's fucking sexing or trying to meet up with some chick, I think it's bad. You shouldn't be doing it. But if it's like, if they're like the 17-year-old's driving on the interaction, trying to like fuck him, he's like, yeah, whatever, blah, 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 we'll do it. I just don't care that much. You shouldn't be doing it, but I just can't be fucked.
Do you think
that... Dude, this is such a retarded take when it comes to someone doing it like through their fucking career. Through like their huge platform, right? This is so retarded because the point is that they've got access to be doing this all the time. Or is it on the fuck? It's their responsibility to shut it down. What the, dude, this is so dumb. Okay.
With the current knowledge and reporting that is out there, that the punishment was unwarranted.
It's without seeing the DM.
What? That's so retarded. No, that's so dumb. What? That he thinks the ban might have been unwarranted depending on the content of the messages. I mean, if they are sexually explicit, it's been stated they were sexually explicit, sexually graphic. I mean, I'm assuming Destiny's taking that as true. Okay, so assuming that Destiny is taking that part as true, if he's still saying he needs to see the content of the message to know if the ban was warranted, that's kind of retarded. Because Twitch, obviously, if you fuck around with kids on their platform through their products, when you are a big name, yeah, that is like the easiest ban in the world. Obviously, they should fucking ban something like that. They shouldn't even fuck around there. That's a zero tolerance line. That's a zero tolerance line for a corporation. What?
Current knowledge and reporting that is out there, that the punishment was unwarranted.
Dude.
It's without seeing the DMs, it's hard to say.
So if you are just if you are hypothetically at the age of 17 in this case.
Like I said, there are actions that the doc could have taken that I think would have warranted way more. So, like, for instance, these are the examples I gave. So, like, let's say in one world, let's say like 100 girls are messaging the doc, and he's like trying to fuck all of them or whatever. And one of them is like 17, and she's like, "Oh, we should meet up." I'm saying, he's like, "Oh yeah, like let's do a little." Then it's like, okay, like cutting his contract, obviously, and probably banning him are probably things that, yeah, you think you should probably do this. But like, let's say,
okay, all right, no, fair enough. He said the punishment was, he's saying should cut the contract, should ban him. All right, fair enough. I don't understand what you were saying before then. What did you think the punishment meant? The punishment, that was the punishment, no? Okay.
Let's say the doc was like intentionally going around channels, like finding underage people and then DMing them. And it's like, oh, I noticed that you're like, you know, like, oh, you're pretty young. Like, what do your parents think about this? And he's like hunting like young people, like trying to flip them into TwitchCon fuck partners. That's something that I would expect the actions by Twitch, I would expect to be way more severe than that. Like, I would expect there to be some publicizing of what happened. Otherwise, he could just go to YouTube or another platform.
Well, then it does seem like, well, then why do you answer no to whether the punishment was warranted? The punishment, it seems like the punishment was warranted.
And actually, like, hunt people on those platforms. That would be, like, really bad, I think. Like, imagine if he ends up, like, predatoring some fucking girl on YouTube who's 15 and fucks her, and then it leaks from Twitch that he was aggressively seeking minors on Twitch. Then I'd be like, oh shit, well, why didn't they fucking say something? Now you basically just had some person getting raped. Like, that's what I would say is...
okay, yeah. Well, in my reporting, and maybe I will want you to read it, a big part, there's one more big piece of reporting, which addresses what you just said, and there's a lot of the pieces to contextualize why Twitch was unable to say anything, and why they do not say anything, and why something like the logs... are never going to come out, nor should you want to see them.
Is there an answer that's good, or is it just like to protect the victim thing?
Well, they're the two main answers, and yeah, all that it needs to be focused on is that, quote unquote, it not only endangers the victim, which needs to be the priority, Destiny. It's not for...
Wait, how does it endanger the victim?
Any potential for the victim to be identified.
How could it possibly lead to the victim being identified? Like, did they include their address in like every single message to the doc? They're like, hey, what's up, doc? It's me, Samantha from 4227 Ames Street in Des Moines. Like,
I understand, but there have been people scouring the internet for 4 years for
so it absolutely could. Yeah, this is stupid. I don't know how Destiny's not saying this. There are absolutely ways it could endanger the victim. Let's say, for instance, the victim, when they were a minor, had posted these DMs sort of anonymously, talking to people about them, trying to either seek comfort or maybe trying to figure out what they should do about it. And they'd spoken about it on some website somewhere, and then by leaking the DM, someone is able to then use that to track back down the original post, and then it's linked back to her, or back to them, I should say, really. Like, there's plenty of ways where that could endanger them. Like, that is absolutely, it is totally possible it could. You like Jstlk? Yes, I'm a huge Jstlk fan, okay?
Person, and like, there have been many, many women that have been harassed in this entire situation by people on the internet who thought that they were involved in the situation. Many women have had their lives fucked up from not just the situation, but even other interactions unrelated to this specific case with Doc. And there is something I was going to show you, later.
Okay, but now there's only one circumstance where I could see this making sense. When you say, if you show the logs, it could potentially be bad because it might implicate somebody, the only way that this argument makes sense is if the doc had a large number of victims. Because in my mind, the first thing I think of is like, okay, well, if you show the logs, Dr. Disrespect, he knows who he was talking to. They said they were a minor. Like, he's going to know if he gets unpartnered no matter what, obviously. But if somebody's saying, well, we can't let him know who it was, oh, that means that he was, like, sexting with multiple minors, and he doesn't know which one was the one that returned him into Twitch. That's the only way that statement can make sense.
Well, that could be the case. They might not have the full information. They don't have the full information. They may not know what else Dr. Disrespect has been doing. He may have been talking to other people in his Twitch whispers or some shit. I mean, To be fair, there must have been some kind of investigation that opened up the rest of them. I can't. Who knows though? Who knows really? But yeah, it absolutely could lead back to her. He could then use that to dox her. His legal team could use that. But yeah, there's absolutely.
To me, is that the implication I'm supposed to take from this?
No, all I'm talking about is this specific case involving a singular minor. And then Doc has unrelated, I mean, as far as I am aware.
Well, but then I don't, because Doc knows who the person was, right?
You don't know that. You don't know that.
Yes, but the public doesn't. Nobody else does.
Yeah, but how is the public seeing a personal DM going to...
Wait, did Sash confirm that?
And then Doc has unrelated, I mean, as far as I am aware.
Well, but then I don't, because Doc knows who the person was, right?
Yes, but the public doesn't. Nobody.
Where's Slasher? No, there's nothing to suggest that Discord found the messaging minors too. No.
Nobody else does.
Yeah, but how is the public seeing a personal DM going to like clue them in? Like, do we have?
It's not. It is illegal to publicly show underage minors and their conversations.
There's no shot that's illegal. How? What?
Companies cannot divulge private information, especially in that case, to the public. They, and not only that,
I'm pretty sure that must be true, right? There's no way a company would be able to do it. Publicize sexual interactions with a minor. I don't
think what you're saying is true about not being able to divulge it. But also the thing that doesn't make the most sense here is you're saying that
it is true. So it doesn't really.
What are you saying is true?
Wait, hold on. If two people are having sex with each other, so like for instance, for that one girl that convinced that boy to kill himself, didn't we see all of their texts like published in the media? You're saying that was illegal, or?
I don't know.
Wait, what the fuck is he talking about? That went through the courts. It may not be allowed for a company to do it. That was in a court case. It was in public court documents. What?
What? I would have to look at how the text became.
There can be regulation. Okay.
Was it through one of the two parties that made the text public, or was it were the text subpoenaed in the case, and that is why they became public? Those two things are very important here. But this is also a company overseeing two people's private messaging between each other.
So when you say illegal, do you mean civilly or criminally?
No, illegal always means criminally. What do you mean? Wait. What do you mean? This is a company overseeing? Or how does that matter?
Tech companies can't show personal interactions and information publicly to begin with.
Well, wait. If they can't show it, probably as like part of their TOS or something, right? Or part of like.
Real Smith super chatted $1.99. Destiny is acting stupid to probe for info.
I'd love to believe that. Waiting for the $1.99.
The agreement that they've made with you, but I mean, like the FBI and people can subpoena companies, and people have posted emails that have been leaked before. Like it happens.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't think a company can just publicize two users. Can a company really do that? Can a company publicize two users' private interaction on their platform? Can they do? Maybe.
But that's still.
Thank you for the $9.99, Max.
That's still not from the company. You've never seen a tech company publish correspondence between two different people.
Sure, but the tech company doesn't have to. It could be an outlet, right? The company wouldn't, because why the fuck would the company ever publish anything about it? But like a journalist could.
But how could a media company get? Media company cannot.
How does a media company get information from a source? You're the journalist. You tell me. What do you mean? Of course, it happens all the time.
Media, from as far as I know, I do not know any instances of media getting conversations between two people and printing a private conversation between any user, let alone conversation that involves a minor, which there is an extra layer of the legalness. Absolutely to that. There is a comment that's Yeah, I mean that shows even to a company thing. It's not like Twitch is working with YouTube and divulging information. They're not doing that either. Discord was very particular and unique because Twitch worked with Discord in terms of this situation. Discord found things on their own, and that is why they deleted and removed his partnership on that very same day.
Okay, wait, whoa, whoa.
Okay, well, yeah, there's no source for that. So I don't know how to take that. But if that's true, then yeah, absolutely, that's a great reason to not be divulging the details of this interaction, because there absolutely could be others.
But I don't think in general, in normal, that doesn't happen.
I mean, like, don't we literally have mainstream media people like publishing dick pics and personal information and private?
Yes,
like, look at the whole New York Post story. Or sorry, go ahead.
Well, one person is publishing the information. Whoever either got the dick pic or sent it, or whoever is able to access the phone, or you have things like, hacking where people hack into other people's phones and then get,
okay, so right now, so if I go and I screenshot my conversations with Nathan and I put that conversation on screen because my son is a minor, have I've just committed a crime?
No, because they're not sexually explicit in nature.
You don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry. I didn't mention
Jesus Christ.
You can, okay, so he.
Does that make it different? Okay, I'm gonna go look for laws. I'm searching this up. Okay, let me get the worst search history ever for the FBI to look.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. Actually, I'm
in
cross-examining. Okay.
In the piece, when this happens, Doc was reported to NCMEC, which is NCMEC, which is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Anytime that a situation happens where there is a trust and safety report within a tech company that involves a minor and it is confirmed to involve a minor, that is sent to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and they work with law enforcement agencies all around the country to directly get themselves into.
Are you
the
sure?
right...
Because I know, for instance, there's differences when you talk about like pictures and explicit like messages. Like I think that if the age of consent is like 16 in a state, like two 16-year-olds can like have sexually explicit messages with each other. But if they were to send pictures, that would become like a federal crime. But the messaging is okay in terms of the law there. So I don't know why publishing the messaging would be like illegal or against the rules. Also, it would depend on what also is meant by like sexually explicit material. Like, for instance, let's say that there's a 17-year-old and she's got logs with the doctors and she's like, oh, we should meet at TwitchCon and go fuck. Does that count as like a sexually explicit message from the minor?
That is part, like the two differences are CSCA and CSAM. CSAM is the material. CSCA, which is this case, is still assault. But both are, whenever either happens, all of those cases are sent to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. CSAM, having the media, whether it's pictures or videos or whatever, that is more extreme. Those cases are taken even more seriously with larger potential for a criminal action. CSCA, which is this case, the criminality portion is ambiguous. That part is true. Like, there's been no evidence of something criminal being applied in this case. However, I, as I wrote in the piece, do not have even knowledge of what the agreement exactly was and who or what is involved inside of the agreement. So I am unaware, like, if it goes to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they are directly involved with law enforcement around the country to then investigate. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But then afterwards of what has potentially happened, there is no information. I do not have information after that. Huh. However, any case, even with the CSCA, not just CSAM, has to be reported to NCMEC automatically. This goes for all tech companies.
Oh, I want to fight, but I don't have enough information to deny what you're saying. So maybe.
And look, you wouldn't, even in general, it should be that you don't want to see conversations for minors to try to like have to prove to you or anyone on the internet.
Oh, so tech companies, if they become aware of this stuff, they do actually have an obligation to report it. But I guess they did follow through on that obligation.
At how contextually this conversation is okay or not as bad or whatever. It shouldn't be completely necessary I actually think from doing the report, like I put in the report too, for example, that they were getting, because everything was happening early June in terms of the amount of sexual misconduct reports that were coming in. It was that Destiny 2 streamer, and then that snowballed into a ton of people. And then Twitch made a tweet rather, asking for people to send in tips and that they would work with law enforcement. It shouldn't be a surprise that 4 days later, like no one was able to put this together.
Food Shop's super chatted $9.99. Nathan Bonnell is Mark Antony, Baron Trump is Octavian. The future is bright. Watch out for the Ides of March.
Thank you for the $9.99, Max.
Together, which was so frustrating, at least a lot of people. That Doc got banned 4 days after that tweet was made, in the middle of where over 70 people had sexual misconduct allegations put towards them, that those two things should be related. But I mean,
sure, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that, like, if let's say that the DMs were like some hardcore predator shit, like let's say that it comes out that he had like let's say, for instance, tomorrow's story comes out that the doc actually fucked 6 different 15-year-olds at the last UCon or YouTube Con or Minecon or whatever the fuck, I don't know, some convention for YouTubers, right? And then let's say that as a part of that court case, or let's say that as a part of somebody leaking to the media, you find out that the reason why the doc got departnered from Twitch was because he had messaged over 30 different minors on the platform, and that some of the logs being posted were things like the doc going like, "Hey little girl, like what do you guys do at recess? Why don't you take pictures of your whatever, blah blah blah, like, oh, you're only 15." Like, if you would see shit like that, the first thing I would think is like, okay, well, damn, if Twitch would have been more honest about why they banned him, then the 5 or so girls that all got like statutorily raped probably would have been safer, because nobody would have allowed Doc to have that platform. That's what I would think, right? But
yes, but from what I understand, this is just this individual case. Like, this report about him getting banned was for this individual case. There may be more additional reports, but I am not aware of additional reports. Okay, just want to get that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's one person, so that helps a little bit. But again, I think the aggressiveness of his messages, I think also a little bit, but
it's not that, like, Twitch, as I was explaining, they created an incident response team early on named Gold Sparrow internally. That was their code name to try to handle all the sexual misconduct allegations. They said that we want to provide a process mounting investigations quicker and with more resources, while providing as much support for the victims as possible. And they also created an OSIT, which was to investigate team for reports offsite misconduct by creators. So they did create both of these things internally. The fact that we didn't get information and no one had known anything until Cody just said, "Fuck it, we'll do it live," and made an ambiguous tweet last week. The fact that we didn't know anything means Twitch did a good job. You can criticize Twitch and say, well, if they told people, one, it would be an understanding of what was happening, and two, they could potentially save other potential victims from things happening. And I do understand that sentiment, but their obligation is to the specific alleged victim in this case. Like, they can only handle what they have control of and what they are investigating and what they are working towards. So their responsibility is to protect the victims that were reported through Twitch and the victims that are involved in Twitch. Like, it's not just Doc. There have been, as we, all those other cases, there were many other people permanently banned. We have never heard from Twitch on any of those other situations. The only reason that we know from many of them, as you did, like, a 2-week-long stream going over allegations.
Yeah, exactly right. They shouldn't. There shouldn't be an obligation on them to report this stuff. It should be up to the victims to say what happened if they want to make it public. I feel, right? That should be the case. Twitch should take action and cooperate with law enforcement, but they shouldn't. I don't think it should be on Twitch to publicize it at all. I think that's really dumb.
Is that most of the time women were to write tweet longers and Twitter posts.
It seems like they informed Discord and maybe YouTube.
Talk to the media, telling about like XYZ in different allegations. Those are the only reasons we know. But in all the other cases, and including those specifically, Twitch has never said anything. Twitch has never commented on Method Josh, ever. They've never spoken about Method Josh. It's never been a thing that you will ever hear about. But you know and understand.
Dude, Method Josh was so funny. Why do you have to be a rapist?
Happened there because the victim in that case spoke out, and you have context to what is happening. But Twitch's responsibility ultimately will always be on the victim and to try to do what they can. And specifically in this case, because it involved a minor, having it always be as anonymous as possible and their safety was their primary importance.
Sure, you can say all of this, but like...
Well, Slasher's saying that Discord found stuff independently. That's what Slasher's claiming, is that Discord did their own investigation and found that he was doing stuff there, and so we're working with Twitch.
Twitch could have literally just said, like, we've terminated the contract with Dr. Disrespect because we found out that he was engaged in, like, illicit sexual contact with underage people. Like, I don't know how that statement endangers the victim. Like, Doc already knows that personally. He knows 100% why his contract was terminated. So I don't know how that...
Like if they give the specifics here, then they're obligated to give specifics on many other very delicate, strong situations.
Wait, why? No, they're not.
Is it completely
Destiny knows
necessary?
that is true. Wait, Destiny does know that's true. If you start doing that, you start having to do it for all the cases. He says it's about his own community all the time. He knows that's true. What?
That Twitch or another tech company is responsible for giving specifics, especially in a case like this.
Is it completely necessary? I mean, like, probably not necessary. It's just like nice for like the public safety, I guess. But
it's not. It's
on,
the public
the moral
interest.
Culpability of a company for
it's because you
cutting
want
somebody
know.
off, because it would be very easy
and
I think very quick to turn the lens around and say that Twitch isn't acting out of the best interest for the minor, and Twitch isn't acting out of the best interest for Dr. Disrespect. Twitch is actually just looking out for itself. The idea...
Twitch is obviously looking up... Okay, why is he acting like this? He knows better than this. He must be playing dumb. Twitch is obviously out for themselves. That's going to be their motivation. But they have obligations and standards they have to uphold and processes they have to go through. And that's what happens in regards to the minor, right? So they're doing that by not publicizing it. It's up to the minor, the potential victim, if they want to publicize it, right?
Of national headlines going, major partnered contract worker from Twitch, Dr. Disrespect, was DMing other minors on the platform through Twitch's Whispers product to elicit a sexual encounter with her at the next Twitch convention, right? It's pretty easy to look at that and go like, oh, no wonder Twitch doesn't want to talk about this publicly. It makes them look bad because it's literally a contracted streamer using their platform to fuck a minor at their event. Yeah, obviously, right?
Obviously, they do not want to talk about it, yeah, but it is also not on them to talk about it. They also probably should not talk about it.
So I don't know, this whole framing of like, oh no, Twitch is doing it just to protect minor, I think that's bullshit.
Don't you think
he isn't having a stroke? Listen to his voice. He's going with this argument for the sake of the content and to get info. Pissing this guy off by being dumb makes it likely he will spew something. Possible.
you're being a little bit too cynical here?
Wait, hold on, wait, hold on. Don't do the Hassan strategy of just like using an adjective. What part of that analysis do you think was unfair? When you ask me, am I being cynical by saying that a subsidiary of one of the largest companies in the world, Amazon, by market capitalization, is looking out for the valuation of that company? Am I being cynical? No, I think I'm being pretty pragmatic.
Yes. That part I don't disagree with. It's the aspect of, I don't think it is Twitch's responsibility. I don't even think because it involves a minor in this case, they can legally even say what that
okay, this legal argument is done. The point it needs to just leave that alone. It's Twitch's responsibility to not disclose this stuff. They should not disclose these details. It should be on the victim to make the decision about whether it gets disclosed or not. Their obligation, their responsibilities are to work with law enforcement and essentially make sure the victim's protected, right, and to take appropriate action. Those are their obligations. Publicizing it, that's not part of their obligations.
You literally can't make a statement whatsoever. I'm just I'm thinking of
Food Shop super chatted $9.99. He's so 17-year-old hookup pilled that he's forgotten how to talk about this stuff to normies.
Thanks for the $10, Max. Thank you.
If this is what you're saying, I'm thinking of like all the ways that I could like abuse this. Like I'm thinking of like, okay, I'm gonna go on Twitch and I want to fucking murder somebody. I'm always gonna bring a 17-year-old with me, and I'm always gonna be like trying to buy fucking assassins. But like every time I do,
this legal argument's dumb. I don't think it's true. I think it's against the platform's TOS and their policies all the time to not publicize that stuff. But I don't think this legal argument's true.
Assassination thing, I'm gonna tell this everyone, hey, just like say like a sexual message to this guy, so that if any of this like gets discovered by Twitch, they can't publish any of it because look, there was a minor involved. Yeah, I was trying to hire hitmen to murder people, but look, there's a minor. Now you can't say or publish anything about it. Like this sounds like the dumbest cheat code in the world. There's no way that this is how it works. It can't be that way.
It's not.
You don't see tech companies commenting on it.
Wait, that's right.
It's in their terms of service.
Yeah, and they don't
do it or not, and they can get sued.
They also don't comment on it because it doesn't serve their interest. Why the fuck would they say anything? It's not that they're not saying it. It would just be bad for them. Like there was one company that spoke about a specific ban. I think it was Patreon when it came to Lauren Southern getting banned for that Mediterranean Sea shit. They decided to come out publicly and say something because a lot of people were getting randomly banned, and they got completely shit on.
That wasn't about allegations. That was. Wasn't that about her public positions and actions and the content she was putting out? Well, that all happened publicly. There was nothing to keep private there.
For saying anything for it, and they tried to do with the full transparency thing. I think that's why companies don't do transparency because it literally doesn't do anything positive for them whatsoever.
This is correct, but also not the point here. He's correct, but this is not the point here.
There's a bunch of negative PR, negative press, like negative sentiment. Like it's just horrible for them. So they're just like, ah, fuck it, I won't say anything.
What positive things happen by Twitch going out and saying anything at all about this? It's literally all negative for them. It's much better for them to just like say nothing, ban the guy.
Has it not been even worse? Not only was Guy being able to rehabilitate his career after the initial ban, but he got bigger than ever, and his stream became bigger than ever.
Wait! You think that Doc got bigger after his Twitch ban?
I mean, he had a ton of limitations because he couldn't play with people, but. I thought wasn't Dr. Disrespect on the, I'm sorry, not even on the verge of, wasn't he getting like A-list sponsors when he was on Twitch, like sponsored by Gillette, and like doing like major events? I think didn't PUBG or whatever, one of those major things try to make him like the fucking face.
Wait, he still does get that. He was just in NBA, no? He was just in NBA 2K. He was sponsored by like Pepsi or something too, recently, I think. He was still getting those sponsors. Okay,
Destiny's... Sure, a lot of that died.
I pray Destiny's acting retarded here. Because this is
after the Twitch contract termination. That was my recollection.
He became the face of San Francisco 49ers. He was in the new 2K game. I mean, I felt like he did rather well.
Where is the Kino Sonic Adventure content? Maybe. Will I do some tonight? Probably not. Probably back tomorrow on Sonic Adventure, okay?
Not bigger, but at least I would think on par. And through a lot of that time, the discussion absolutely turned against Twitch in terms of like public opinion, even more so that probably was just Twitch screwing him over. So I don't know if really staying quiet helped them. It felt like it hurt even more than what would ever have happened and people not believing them.
But you're saying that it's illegal, that even if they wanted to say
it's retarded to say it's illegal. Dan's right here. If that's what Dan's contesting, yeah, that is retarded. But it's also, they've got an obligation to the victims to not publicize that shit. They should not be publicizing it. It should be up to the person who was a minor to make that decision.
Prevents this from happening. Some law.
I know that when it involves a minor, again, it is sent to National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They work with law enforcement agencies to investigate. No, it's both. Yes. It is both. It is
anything CCM or anything that's
apparently the 49ers thing was after Twitch.
CSEA. No, it has to be CSEA, which is the non-media version of CSAM, and CSAM both get sent automatically.
Okay. So a reporting agency, which is the tech company in this case, when they send that type of stuff in, which they do, that nice one, basically goes to that clearinghouse as you're talking about there. But that does not mean that the tech company...
you know Dan knows what he's talking about here because he created Tiny Chat, which is probably... So he's probably facilitated more child grooming than you can possibly imagine.
can't release redacted text logs of anything.
Oh, I said I wasn't going to joke about that anymore. I'm such an asshole.
If the doc had like naked photos of a teenager, then definitely they can't release that. That's going to be fucking against the law, because then they're publishing content that's actually illegal. But as far as just pushing.
Food Shops super chatted $9.99. Since I've introduced 2 to Ricky P and others, can we do more schizo content someday?
Max, I thoroughly advise you in your free time to dig through previous VODs from the last couple weeks and find instances of me covering this guy called King Shadow, okay? That's what you should look for. But yeah, we will do more, for sure.
Pushing out the logs or saying what happened, that would typically, the reason that they wouldn't do that would just because they'd be afraid of getting sued by Doc, because their terms of service probably says that any information that you gives us stays with us, things along those lines. But definitely not like if we publish your shit, we're going to jail, we're doing something criminal. Like right now, Gmail wanted to, they could go and they could publish your fucking emails.
But they never
look horrendous for them, but they could do it.
You will never see a tech company publish private correspondence between 2 users. Forget being the extra fucked upness of there being a minor involved.
Well, hold on. No, wait. To be clear, that's not true. There was a major tech company, one of the largest social media companies in the world, published emails between employees when Twitter did it with the Twitter files, no?
Did he?
No, that wasn't. No. That's not what happened, Destiny. Okay, he is pretending to be retarded. He's just hoping he can get one over on people here because they've got lack of information. This is actually the definition of fucking bad faith. This is crazy. What the fuck? He knows that's not true. That was emails between employees and outside entities. That wasn't between private conversations between 2 users. He literally just said himself, emails. Dude, okay, come on. This is just straight up bad. This is just crazy.
You can do things with subpoenas and FOIA requests.
That wasn't subpoenas. Those are just journalists covering their shit. They're just journalists like publishing
Elon Musk giving them access to the fucking shit.
Or was it Elon just giving them everything?
Yep.
Yeah. Now you could argue that those were like on emails on business accounts. They might have been.
Why don't you ask Elon to buy Twitch? Obviously.
Wait, no, he's not pretending. He just realized it there. No, Smith, he's not pretending. He genuinely was making that argument. He just realized there.
Money, and then he could just send out everyone's information. That's pretty much how you're gonna.
No, he is big.
I don't know.
Seems like an exception here.
What did you want to have happen in this situation? When we started there, what do you think?
I really think after seeing this back now for 4 years that Twitch never revealing anything and all of this only happening because of Cody's tweet, they did a good job. I really feel like the people that were working on this case, that were interacting with the victim, that handled the punishment and that in the aftermath, they never spoke to me on the record. These people I have been talking to or around primary sources for years, never agreed to speak on the record. It has been consistent that the only thing that I have been told many dozens of times over and over, their priority is to protect the victim. I know it sounds probably cheesy or bullshit or whatever, but that is really what I was told so many times about why they would not talk to me.
No.
Why was Dr. Disrespect paid out from his contract then?
That's a good question. It is. I'm not saying that that's not a bad question. I do not have details on the case specifically.
Do you think that they paid him out from his contract because it was part of an NDA that the doc would have agreed to? Like, well, fine, I won't say anything about this to anybody. I won't mention anything to anybody as long as you like settle with me like on this contract here, like pay me up through this, or at least like make me right on this.
I have been advised not to speculate.
Okay.
Like, actually, Rolling Stone had to hold like a whole meeting with me. I was like, all right, shit you should not say while you're on podcast. Okay. When people usually get sued, it's not because of the reporting, it's because of dumb shit you say on a stream. I've already done that now a few times. I'm trying. I'm trying.
That's another thing we should really talk about after before we finish this call, because that's an interesting part that we discussed
speculating on the lawsuit's kind of retarded, in my opinion, because there's actually so many reasons. It can literally just be as simple as Twitch thought they were totally in the right, but knew Doc had the money to drag it out longer than it was worth it for. That's It can literally be that simple. So speculating on it is so dumb. Yeah.
Actually, but I would just say I don't know. It is very possible that there is an NDA, and there is very possible there is.
Sorry, it's not even a lawsuit. It was private arbitration. It's not even a fucking lawsuit. It's not even a lawsuit.
Circumstances here. All I know is that there are other cases like Les Moonves was had allegations of sexual misconduct when he was running CBS, and he was ousted, but he still got his $30 million payout, even though it was ousted. I don't know if the circumstances are the same, but there could very well just be, you know.
Do you know if anything relating to this doc stuff, did any of it actually go to court?
Unaware.
Okay. Wouldn't civil suits have to be filed publicly somewhere, or I mean, it could have been done in arbitration as well outside of the court.
I have filed requests in every single major San Diego, Los Angeles, Southern California courthouse. So have other reporters, like from Washington Post back then, Bloomberg, you know, Cecilia, who did all of her.
Well, wait, well, hold on. Well, what you should do is
nothing's ever been found in terms of public
wait, hold on.
record.
Fuck those requests. What you should do is grab somebody that has a Twitch partner contract. In that Twitch partner contract, I guarantee you there's an arbitration clause. That arbitration has probably been relegated to some third party that you could contact for them and see if they have a comment on it, right? Like if it's guaranteed to be arbitrated by XYZ company or XYZ whatever, then like you shoot an email to those people, see if they release any details about that.
They do not have no details. The only people who would have details are still declining to comment.
Oh, well.
I don't know why.
The only people who have specific details on what the legal agreement entails and why it was done that way are still not speaking. Everyone else is a secondhand source. Cody, for example, was never a primary source. Okay, Cody, as a person, was always a secondhand person to gain knowledge from somebody else.
Are you saying he didn't have firsthand of this? Wasn't he head of partnerships at Twitch?
It doesn't matter.
So he didn't know then, for sure. He had no idea. No first.
So trust and safety is going to be separate. Trust and safety is going to be separate.
But you're saying that he didn't talk to this guy or see this stuff for himself.
No. Cody is a second-hand source.
That's a big statement to make. I think he might say that I know for goddamn sure I bet my life that this happened.
Well, we have okay for structure of Twitch 1, trust and safety is completely separate. So it's possible they separate. And then number two,
it's separate if he saw it himself from someone in trust and safety. I'm not saying if his position does it. Did he know for sure this happened?
Dan, you can't see it unless you are working in trust and safety and or law enforcement and or investigations within Twitch.
Well, no, because what Dan is saying is that it's possible that if you have friends in trust and safety, depending on how many people in trust and safety saw it, it could have absolutely been like so many partnerships. I know for a fact that happens 100%. But if it's a special enough partner and the report comes through the correct channel, it might be just one guy. At least I used to know work there. It might have been just one dude that saw that report, and he took it straight to legal or straight to the individual that was responsible for negotiating contracts with Dr. Jstlk, which is why it didn't get seen by a whole bunch of people. That's possible. I'm saying there are avenues where it could have been seen by a lot more people, and there's avenues where it could have been seen by literally like 5 people. It's possible.
Yes, I can say it was a very limited amount of people who had access to the internal documentation in this case, and they do also log internally who is viewing it. Not even just making any changes, but Amazon does and Twitch tracks who not only has access, but who is at what time, like it's time stamped, and you can see what happens. So no, Cody specifically did not have access, and the amount of people who did is what made this thing drag on. It's what made it be private this entire time, because the only limited amount of people who are primary sources through this entire time had declined to comment. It only changed when Cody made a tweet, and then I and a few other people were sent a document. The document being his internal report within Trust and Safety. Someone, I do not know who, I was not able to verify who sent me the document, but I did authenticate the document with several other ex-Trust and Safety Twitch employees that it was real. That is only, once those two things happened, that was the only reason why primary sources now...
Okay, yeah. So they have 100% verified the messages. Journalists have 100% verified the message. Okay, cool.
Now spoke up. 3 for Cecilia's report in Bloomberg to first confirm that things were correct and real, and that Cody, to corroborate Cody's tweet, and then my report to corroborate Cecilia's and then give more information. Also, just want to say, Cody's tweet was just ambiguous. It didn't name anybody. It wasn't specific towards any person. My tweet also, to reply, wasn't specific towards any person.
Oh, I did. You know, we did a show, and I said the reason that, well, what I heard in Rust was the reason that Doc got banned was he was texting with minors using the Twitch DM product. I said that 2 months before Cody. So it's weird. People in Rust had that information. Maybe I was playing with the Twitch Safety Council.
Well, I mean, like, Cody tweeting it is obviously a bigger deal because Cody's a fucking...
No, I'm just saying that, like, it was out there, you know. People knew.
That's not the point that was being made. Okay, Dan's being retarded there.
Oh, sure. I want to switch.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on. I mean, the whole reason this is all happening is because I made a tweet 4 years ago saying I knew. Yeah, like I had known and be investigated. So all of the information that came out last week is things that I had known a day or two after when I made the impulsive, bad tweeting decision to begin with. I never lied in that tweet, as I mentioned.
This is going to be a good thing for you.
Being honest, but it was a bad decision to make. I should have never made that tweet. That tweet is incredibly...
No, you did the wrong direction. Not only did you make that tweet, you should have come out and you should have said what you knew. And that we were talking about this on their show.
Well, that doesn't make
2
any
days
sense.
ago.
That
was your make or break moment. Is how I feel about it. Not knowing anything about journalism.
If I break the moment, then I get sued, one, by Amazon, the most threatening legal tech company in the world, and then sued again by CAA, who has represented Dr. Disrespect for the last 3.5 years, the most litigious talent agency in the world. So yes, wait, stop talking for a second. To also do it on Twitter without having the backing of a publication, there's a reason my...
Yeah, he's saying that the "I know but I cannot say" meme was stupid. I don't have hate for Sasha on this. This is fine. He shouldn't have said anything. He should not have made the tweet. He was right to not say any more after making the tweet. He shouldn't have made the tweet in the first place either. He should have kept his mouth shut until he had total verification on the story and could release the story. So, attacking him on this is kind of dumb.
My report only now was going through Rolling Stone because they have legal representation for me if anything were to happen to my reporting. There's lawyers over there. I have indemnity for the story. You don't get that when you just tweet and I have nobody to represent me in that way. That was a huge portion of not being able to publish anything then, is because...
What do you mean he shouldn't take credit for anything then? He's doing more work now. He's got contacts now who are verifying things to him, and he's credited on this Rolling Stone story. What do you mean? He's literally... shouldn't take credit. What, he shouldn't take credit for this article he's written with the information that he's gathered and verified? What? That doesn't make any sense, does it? Think about what you're saying, please. He's not taking credit for the original tweet. He's not saying that original tweet was based. He's literally said the opposite. He's not taking credit for anything in regards to that tweet.
Like, Cecilia getting her report through Bloomberg is 1,000 times more impactful. That's why when her report came out and people were saying, oh, this is just rehashing what we read on Twitter. Yeah, no shit, it doesn't fucking matter. Her reporting through Bloomberg had to go through a long list of lawyers and legal teams and fact checkers who had to look over and make sure everything is 100% on board. That is so much different than just making a tweet. And I need to get, like, media literacy. This part is very important. No, I could not just tweet. No, the mistake was even saying that I knew and I could not say. That was a fucking dumb decision. That was a dumb fucking tweet. That part is right. This extra layer you're saying is totally misguided and incorrect.
All right, so now I'm going to talk. So one, you could have done it, okay? First off, there's pretty good journalist protections in this country where you can't force journalists to go and reveal their sources.
Yeah, he's simply saying this was a thing that was known, i.e. gossiped about among insiders, since right after Doc was banned. Yeah, which is the exact same thing that Destiny has said himself, the same thing Richard Lewis has said himself. They're all just corroborating the same timeline, this gossip, that unverified testimony about what happened here started coming out, or hearsay, rather, around from 2 days after. From 2 days after. So
it doesn't matter. You said you knew. You knew firsthand hand to God that this guy who told you works for Twitch safety said, this is why it happened. He told it to you. That's a source. He's saying, I'm not going on record. He doesn't need to go on record. You've now heard this. You can now go, this is what I have heard. I'm not publishing my source. That's the end of the day. What do you think? They're going to fucking sue a journalist and somehow magically get you to review your fucking, to reveal your sources? When's the last time that happened?
Unfortunately, a bunch. I'm fucking I'm
journalists revealing their sources. I want to know. And also, by the way, so they're going to go ahead and they're going to go through discovery, and that is the truth.
But he doesn't get sued either.
There and what, they're going to sue you for telling the truth?
Now, the discovery part would be a huge issue for him. He probably would not want to do that.
So
and that
probably wouldn't have sued you then. And then you could have said something, and then maybe he wouldn't have been out on YouTube for a few years.
Man,
you would have been a famous journalist doing crazy shit.
I don't have money bags like Destiny here, okay? I
could
not survive.
Wouldn't have done anything.
Doing it. You are so naive. Okay?
I don't understand why I'm naive. What am I missing? What am I missing? What part am I missing?
Cannot make allegations like that.
Yeah, they're being like crazy retarded here. Slash is kind of right.
Fucking people doing that on YouTube and shit, like just random people on Twitter. It's so irresponsible. No, you cannot just be making allegations on the record like that towards someone.
Okay, if I'm a journalist and I'm meeting with the COO of some major company and they're like, listen, the CEO does fucking drugs every day. Look at this shit. Yeah, this is fucking crazy. Watch this video. He does drugs every day. And he fucking beat this person and raped this person. Anyways, I can't give you a copy of this, but I just wanted to show it to you. You know what? I'm running the fucking story. Absolutely. You know why? Because that's a make or break fucking moment for you forever.
Video. And guess what? They're documented.
You didn't keep it. You didn't keep it. You saw it. You said you knew.
No documents have existed until
so you didn't know then. You were just you had a hunch and they told you, hey, this is why the doc was banned, but you didn't trust the guy? Or
no, I had so many secondhand sources and not enough no primary source willing to go on the record. Okay?
But you had primary sources, but they wouldn't go on the record.
To go and speak and confirm something on the record is so hard. I can't.
And you don't need it.
You need it. You fucking need it.
Really? So there's never been any major stories where they don't list their source? That's weird.
Even making my source anonymous has rubbed people the wrong way because they feel like they should go on the record. And I am a pretty strong opinion that people should go on the record. But in this case, yeah, there is extreme fear for retribution against their careers or personal lives. That's why all of the sourcing in the Verge report, in Cecilia's Bloomberg report,
so I just don't understand how Dan doesn't get this. The people obviously felt the stakes are incredibly high.
Report have all been anonymous. And
if only there was like some sort of like people who had whistles and they wanted to blow them and had protection and not get fucked over like that. That would have been like the sickest shit. You should have ran with it. You would have been okay.
Yeah, a lot of the time, whistleblowers still essentially throwing away years of their life to do it.
No, it needs. What I should have done is never said anything to begin with. I should have never tweeted. That was my fuck up. You should not be telling people that you know something that you can't say it. One, it just pisses everybody off. And two, journalistically, you shouldn't be doing that because if you actually have everything you need, then you should be working on printing the story and releasing the information, not just like fucking having a hard on.
Pros and cons here. Pros and cons, right? So if you did go out there and said that, here are the pros that have happened. Doc wouldn't have gone on to, for 5 more years, get more popular, maybe do more damage to other people. That's number one. Number two, that would have solidified your place as one of the most game-breaking, huge pieces of information broken directly by you, solidifying your spot as like a fucking massive journalist at that point right there. And
saying the person was banned and terminated for something isn't covered by whistleblower protections, pretty sure. Probably not. No, Dan's just, I don't know what you were talking about. Very retarded conversation.
Instead of like disappearing for 3 months. Thirdly, no one would have sued you because guess what? It was the fucking truth. And you knew it was the truth because you talked firsthand, apparently, to these people, but they just weren't going to go on the record. So you had people that you trusted saying, this is why I got banned, but you're not going to get me saying it, writing it down anywhere. Like, you knew, you could have done it. You could have gone out there and done it, but it was, I mean, you were scared, I guess, of getting sued, but I think that was not worth it to you. I think you should have gone harder. Okay, you should have tweeted it and said it. and said it.
I appreciate that. Would have been great. Okay, totally hear you. You can't just brush aside not getting sued for, especially considering the two representations of the two companies here. Two, with all due respect, Dan, I was doing fine pre-Dr. Disrespect. Top of conversation. And continued not as much, been on mainstream TV quite a bit to represent this entire industry, and you could criticize me and what I say on there and what I've done, but I'm the only person that has ever fucking done that. When I disappeared, it's not like anyone took my spot to represent like the people. No, it's just fucking me, okay? So I didn't need this entire situation to hang over my head. The reason I disappeared was because I made a stupid tweet, I lost my reputation, everyone thought I lied, I pretty much lost my career. It was really depressing every single time I wanted to do a Valorant talk show and talk about fucking Counter-Strike or fighting games or other esports. That is what I really actually care about, and the entire fucking chat and every single reply and every DM is you're a fucking liar, you insult, you fucking did this for clout, you only did this for clout, you're only big because of Doc, and what happened to Doc is like every single day. So yeah, that was really depressing, on top of some personal stuff, including me getting divorced after 10 years, which nobody really knows about. Those two things made me leave the internet. Yeah, fuck.
This guy okay. This guy is not okay. Slasher is not doing well.
Really goddamn annoying, all right? It was self-inflicted by my, again, stupid tweet of making it seem like I did not know what I was talking about. I mean, Destiny can probably, hopefully, vouch for my tweet being accurate. I wasn't just fucking bullshitting people. It was a bad tweet, but I was truthful and I was honest, and it was just really hasty. But that thing ended up ruining my rep. And I've been trying to fix it and address it while getting the truth out and navigating all the other stuff, the media portion, the legal portion, the people getting sourced on record. Like, it's all very important in terms of all of this coming together. Like, there's a lot of moving parts that all had to happen for it to really be accurately out there. But I mean, Steven, am I fucking lying?
About what in particular?
This entire thing and my initial tweet, and knowing but not being able to get it over the line.
I mean, what do you want me to say about that?
I mean, I spoke to you long.
I know, I remember very well, but I don't know what you want me to say about that. I would say you're probably not lying based on, that. I don't know what you want me to say, but yeah.
I mean, part of your community still thinks I'm full of shit, okay? They still think I fucking lied.
No, to be clear, no one here thinks you lied. Everyone here thinks you knew.
Well,
fucking dead to rights. No. You're wrong. You can just stop talking. No. Everyone here knows that you know, and that they know that you've known since day one, but that you wouldn't get someone on record, so you didn't say anything. Like, no one's retarded. You went out and you said, hey, I know
they are retarded. No, Dan's wrong there. People are retarded.
He's done, not just on Twitch. You don't say that as a fucking...
But Slasher should engage with what Dan's saying and not what people in Destiny's community say about him.
JK, when you're a journalist as respected as you
I didn't say that, by the way. Your best example was something that I did not say.
Done and not just on Twitch?
That's Shannon.
Okay, whatever.
That is Sacriel's wife, okay? Big distinction. I'm just saying, if the one example you want to use
my fault.
The thing that I did not say.
For one thing to try and fucking nail me on this one thing. You knew for sure. I think everyone in DGG knows that you knew for sure.
Okay, even Jesse the chat doesn't know. That was Shannon's tweet, okay? That was Shannon's tweet, all right? That he's done, and not just on Twitch. That was Shannon. That was not me.
Okay, again, everyone thinks that you knew for sure. They're upset because you wouldn't say why. You wouldn't go further after that. It's not because of that.
I mean, it's not like I didn't try to provide additional reporting and hints. Even like a week after, I was the first person to report, even though everyone went over it, that Facebook and YouTube were not going to be giving them deals. And all the speculation about how it was like a contract issue, about platforms. I tried to provide reporting early on about how you could eliminate certain entire categories of incidents.
Wait, can I ask a question? How did other companies find out? Was it transmitted by... It must have been transmitted by...
Okay, here we go. So hopefully talk more at length about this. Because it seemed like he said that Discord did their own investigation and possibly found victims of their own. So I want to hear more about this.
As I reported in my story yesterday. Ryan Wyatt, otherwise known as Fwiz, confirmed to me on the record that he was approached by a Twitch employee and several investigating journalists of the situation that they had heard and told him. And his comment was that, I should probably read the full quote, but he understood it was still back then, it was rumors. So they weren't able to make... The unfortunate part of all of it was there were so many rumors circulating in the industry, one that a minor was involved, he says. But no one produced firsthand knowledge or evidence, and because of those rumors, there was no reason to entertain doing any deal with Dr. Disrespect. And no evidence...
Okay, yeah, so YouTube heard rumors and chatter, but they weren't directly informed, all right.
...produced means you can't act on a terms of service violation. The whole situation got even more confusing when Twitch settled and effectively said, quote-unquote, no wrongdoing, which made everyone in the industry dismiss the rumors, but even still, there was never any reason to do a deal with him after the ban. So you can even see from the person that was running all of YouTube gaming how, yeah, again, Twitch's statement and Doc's statement, especially in 2022, made everything even more difficult to discern from a public standpoint of not having direct knowledge about what to do. But some people were tipped off, such as them, about the allegations, and they had made even internal decisions. So there was nothing ever officially said by YouTube that entire time. But that's why Dr. Disrespect was always like complaining about not getting the support from YouTube. They did have information. When Valkyrie and Tim the Tatman and Ludwig all got those big deals, Doc was never even offered an opportunity to negotiate one of those.
I mean, that just makes business sense if you can't go to another site either, right? Like you can't go to Twitch. So, but okay. So you wouldn't change anything.
You're just spamming incoherently.
You just wouldn't make a tweet. That's what you would tweet.
But
you knew.
I would continue working behind the scenes and speaking to people and continuing to try to get someone to go on the record. Yes. If I didn't make that tweet initially and I just made the follow-up reporting about the YouTube and Facebook and I just continued to get small pieces of information out there, everything would have went a lot better.
Can I ask you, what would have let you publish Dr. Disrespect got banned for texting with minors? What would you have needed that you didn't have?
Usually, you need at least 2 primary sources on the record and or documentation that this was happening. Okay, 2 days after this happened, I had a message from a trust and safety person that was working at Twitch at the time that could say it was due to...
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, it's just so obvious. I thought people knew this, that you need, like, the generally journalistic for 2 primary sources. That's the standard. I thought I would have thought
a situation involving a minor, but they wouldn't provide me a screenshot of the document. And because they could not provide me a screenshot or the file itself, I'm unable to use that. It didn't matter that I had a direct...
Okay, Lorian, we don't even know that there's an NDA, I don't think. There's not any confirmation of an NDA as far as I'm aware. There probably is some kind of NDA tied to the settlement, I would imagine. A lot of the time that is the case. But we don't know what that covers. We've got no idea. There's no confirmation on that.
Needed absolute 100% concrete. It didn't matter that I had a million secondhand sources, like an unlimited amount of secondhand sources. It didn't matter that I had all this other kind of unrelated information of Doc with other women and text messages and DMs from other women for other things. Like, all of that wasn't able to help me, but I had so much circumstantial things that I was always so close, but not over the line for me.
Okay.
Something. By the way, it wasn't just me. Okay, do you know how many other journalists, such as Cecilia, were working on this thing? All of them were working on this one case for so long.
You're literally in the drama community. People think you don't even need a source sometimes. It's like, bro, I just got this image unsourced. I can't confirm. People are stupid. Yeah, I think slightly higher. Listen, maybe it's a mistake. I do think that I assume that Destiny and Dan have more knowledge than that. I would not think like that. I was hoping.
Journalists of the Washington Post, journalists at Kotaku, journalists at Aftermath, Cecilia from Bloomberg, just other mainstream people from the Times had looked into it at one point.
Yes. I get it. You're
incapable of making this happen. It was
these rules that you set for yourself. They were your own rules, though, right? Like, I need 2 sources on the record.
No,
yes, there is no law saying you need to have sources. There's no
law saying you need to have sources. Just torch your entire journalistic reputation, Slasher. Just torch your whole reputation, Slasher.
I'm not trying to be a random fucking dipshit like every other asshole on Twitter or that streams or makes YouTube videos.
Those are your personal rules that you're doing. It's not like you're working for the
standard in journalism. He's trying to be a journalist. That is standard in journalism. He's trying to be a journalist. If he wants to get jobs for other outlets, he has to adhere to standards. Obviously. What?
Sources on record. Me doing the Rolling Stone report with one source is actually abnormal. However, I can guarantee that my source's authenticity has, I'm not, again, the protection of him being them being anonymous is important.
Fucking hell. What an idiot. Dude, Slash is so retarded. He's like, he needs to just not appear on anything live, ever. He needs to have his Twitter taken away, not appear on anything ever, and just write articles. And just be like, this is the only medium through which I'm going to speak. This is the only one where I can adhere to a good thought process.
It is important, but they have authority in there to be my only source.
He said, I need to protect his anonymity in regards to his source. He just dropped, and them. No, he said him first.
So your source, who is it?
Dan, what is wrong with you?
Well, you just said on the record. That's what on the record is.
Did you read the thing? Are you like, what are you talking about?
Okay, you're saying that you need to have 2 sources. I'm trying to ask you a question. You're trying to say you have to have 2 sources on the record, but then you're saying now your source is anonymous. So what's the difference between that and what you had on day one?
Being on the record means that they are willing to be, their statements are willing to be used within the story, and that they are willing to be quoted. That is on the record means.
Okay.
In terms of like being named on the record, that is when you are putting your name on it. Being awarded, being anonymous is generally rare in cases and should only be given in certain situations.
To be clear, on the record literally means having your name attached to it. I mean, you can say all that, but that's just
I don't think that. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think that's what that means. On the record, definition used for saying that you're willing people to report and repeat what you are saying. Yeah, I don't think it doesn't necessarily mean name. You can be anonymous, but have your words on the record.
It's the actual definition.
Okay, sure.
I mean, you can Google it.
Wait, what are you guys disagreeing for about on the record?
I was saying the difference is allowing yourself to be quoted and for your information to be used. Because when a conversation is off the record, then people are just talking, and none of the information that is being told to you can be used inside of a.
Yeah. Wait, what is Dan disagreeing on, or what are you disagreeing on?
Let's say on the record means that it can be attributed to you, a person. I'm not on the record if I'm an anonymous source. That's not on the record. That's nothing. The definition.
Wait, I'm pretty sure. I think you can.
Why don't you Google it?
Yeah, okay, even Destiny's realizing here that Dan's just wrong.
Before you'd be pretty sure.
Hold on, stop. Hold on. Wait a minute. It's not a Googling the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition. It's having read.
Also, that disagrees with them anyway, but yeah.
A large amount. Hold on.
Legal definition.
Okay, let me know when you're done. Okay. There is no legal definition of on the record. What do you mean legal? You think it's enshrined in law?
Okay.
What? Okay.
See, now Dan's doing it. He's doing the same thing Slasher was doing just now. Saying some retarded shit about law when it's got nothing to do with this. Also, I just fucking love that you get recommended Pippa Pipkin from watching Destiny. Wow, that is horrendous, isn't it?
So with common parlance, if you want to go that way, what do you think on the record means?
My guess is that when somebody says on the record, there's probably a distinction made between, do you want to quote me and attribute this to me, or do you want me to tell you information? You can publish it, but don't name me. For instance, when you read and I've read a lot of fucking news stories that are talking about things going on in the State Department or in the DOD or whatever else, right? You get a lot of things saying confirmed by 2 unnamed sources.
No, it wasn't over defining fascism. I just asked him to tell me how he was using fascism, and then he started spazzing out and refused to answer. So we couldn't move past that point, and then he left.
Those aren't off the record.
That wasn't the argument. That wasn't.
The
argument was about
journalists are just publishing like shit that people take them off the record. Those are probably things that the guy said. Hey, listen, I'll tell you this or that or that. Like, yeah, you can publish this. Don't say it came from me though. That's probably some combination of like on or off. It's on the record, but they're not attributing it to a particular person. That'd be my guess.
Okay. Yeah, I completely disagree. On the record, as far as I can tell, is something that's attributed to a specific person that another person can go and corroborate.
Okay,
right?
So you think that wait, so just to be clear,
source says X.
I know, yeah. So then to be clear, you think that in every single media publication where people are citing anonymous sources, you think when they're talking to those people are all like, this is off the record, but they publish that anyway?
I think that if someone says this is off the record, that at that point it's like, hey, I don't even want you saying, forget you're even hearing and forget you're even saying this. So no, I don't think that.
So then, so then they're on the record, but they're not naming the sources.
What's that?
So then that means that these are people who are on the record, but they want to be kept anonymous.
No, those are people that are saying, I don't want you writing about what I'm about to tell you at all.
Oh, okay. So you think that, so all those media stories that say unnamed officials from these departments, that's all off the record convos, but the journalists are publishing
Dan's
that
being
anyway.
Fucking retarded here. I don't know why this is so dumb.
I think there are people that are giving the information and saying, don't use my name.
Yeah, but so...
Yeah, off the record means don't use this. Yeah. It means I'm giving you this information, but you can't report it.
Well, that's not off the record, I guess.
Literally... Yes. Correct. Okay.
No, I'm saying it's not off the record.
Well, okay, look, I will just say that, like, within a media context, the use of anonymous sources have increased heavily over time, and you can debate if that has been good or not. There are certain industries, like sports, let's say, where anonymous sources are the standard in terms of, you know, when players joining a certain team or being traded, and I think people... I mean, you could argue that sports is not it's not like a highly sensitive situation. Why are anonymous sources being allowed for the new Woj tweet or Shams tweet or fucking Adam Schefter? Why are they being allowed to use anonymous sources? And you could argue that that's not acceptable. But at the same time, you understand that like all the agents and all the team owners and certain players are never going to communicate that information to even get your trade rumors involved. And then when there are serious situations, whether it's national security, and I definitely say this specific case surely entices that it is a situation warranting being anonymous, especially considering where the sources are coming from, which are ex-trust and safety employees, which is a very secure part of any tech company. They deserve to be awarded anonymity in this case. I do feel so. But there is definitely something to argue about the increased uses of anonymous sources in general and how journalists should be wanting to attribute names for certain reporting. I think it's fine to be upset about that and to talk about that, but there is a distinction there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, This is called on background, and we can just move on. It's on background. You don't name the source directly. You just say what their background was, and you quote their stuff for the story.
Wow. Yes, that's true. That's what on background means.
Thank you, Jstlk.
But then if you want specific quotes...
Thank you, Jstlk, for moving the conversation along.
Then you need them on the record. They could still be anonymous. They could still be given anonymous. Great media literacy discussion, Steven.
Thanks.
Hope this has helped. Not you, Dan. Come on.
I disagree with you completely.
I know you do.
You're fucking retard. That's why.
Right now,
I'm not being an internet
He
person.
is. He is.
Okay, definitively means attached to a person.
Dan,
off the record means I've given you something and I don't want you writing about it. But on the record means it's willing to be attached.
Dan, do you think he's lying about industry standards of what on the record means?
Or
do you think he just doesn't know?
I think he's he's said a lot of things that are not correct in this conversation.
If you don't know,
I
then
don't think he knows.
Come on, if you disagreed with two primary sources being the standard journalistic practice, then
I said that's your personal guideline.
Yeah, I know.
It's incoherent, and now it's just strange. So I think we're gonna coming tomorrow, Ming.
It means the rest of this bullshit you're saying shouldn't even matter, because that's almost one of the first basic things.
Under what? Under the I'm like a blogger journalist school.
No,
like this is what I need.
You can go check the Pointer is a good
Pumpkin.
journalistic media outlet. You can go look at any major schooling education for journalism. And by the way, I don't have no journalism degree. I never went to college. I have just tried to abide by as much of what I know from my work, actually working for reporting sites and people that I like and their work that they do.
I want to ask a different question, just because I feel like you guys are getting the weeds of what's a good journalist or not. Are you aware of like TOS or contract clauses for partners and what they look like at Twitch on the time? And do you know if there are things like messaging minors or behavior of the ilk give Twitch a lot of leeway to terminate contracts without penalties? Because I imagine if the content of what was discussed in those DMs was really, really horrible, I am surprised that they would have had to pay so many penalties in terms of paying out the contract.
Okay, Aba's being retarded. Aba's being retarded.
Right. Give them leeway to terminate it. So were the contracts at the time not written in a way that would give Twitch the discretion to get rid of somebody for that kind of behavior?
Good question. Still unclear on the information of the legal agreement.
No, I'm not asking you the degree of the content. I'm asking
dude, Aba is... Oh, why are these people so dumb?
The contracts that people had at the time, if this was...
Well, from what I understand, like most of the people that signed like the exclusive contracts, like Doc, have their own unique agreements.
Hold on. Okay, wait. Okay. There's two factors that people have to balance out when they think about contracts, okay? One is what is written in the contract, but two is what is in the best interest of both parties. Contracts can be flexible, and the way that people approach them can be flexible if one side is like clearly going to be fucked. A real life example of this would have been in the gaming industry when FaZe signed, there was some guy, and the original contract is like pretty restrictive, and eventually he basically broke his contract and left because he was kind of getting fucked, but FaZe was aggressively trying to renegotiate that contract with him because they knew that like the guy wasn't, was it Tfue? Yeah. Wasn't going to have a good time under that contract. And they aggressively tried to renegotiate with him because like, yeah, we know that this doesn't work. Like a company from everything that I've seen in common practice, a company is not going to have a contract that's starting to not serve both parties and follow through with that contract until both of them go over a cliff. They're going to like have a desire to renegotiate. Now, I think generally in contracts involving talent, especially that are representative of certain agencies or whose agencies are representing them, usually you have clauses in there. I think it's called a moral clause, but basically it says that if you engage in like some kind of behavior that like reflects really poorly on the company, they have the right to.
From a cost analysis, could just be better for Twitch to pay. Could have been totally in the right. Could have had total justification to terminate contract with Doc, but because he was going to press a lawsuit, they made the evaluation that he could drag it out for long enough to where it would cost them more than it was worth to fight it. So they just had a settlement and fucked off.
Approach you and if you
totally possible scenario. It's this idea of like, oh well, why did his contract not allow him to terminate him? Why did he get a payout? It's like, okay, well, unless details come out, there's really no way of knowing. So the speculation's kind of retarded.
In time, or if you can't remedy it, they will terminate the contract. Now, it could be, I'm pretty sure, I'd have to go back and check my old Twitch contract, but almost every contract I've signed with another company usually has some type of clause like this in here. However, the thing is, like I said before, it's probably in every party's involved interest to not make this a huge deal. So if there was a contract that...
Destiny, talking sense.
Dr. Disrespect signed with Twitch, and it has a morality clause. Twitch can probably say, listen, we're triggering this clause. There is no way you can remedy this situation. We got to terminate. And Dr. Disrespect might say, hold up. I don't think I actually did anything that bad. Bullshit. You're not. And Twitch comes back and says there's two options. They can either say, okay, well, we can go to arbitration and fight this, in which case all of this might be made public and it's going to look fucking horrible for everybody. Or we can say, listen, fuck you. You know you fucked this. We owe you 50 million lump sum, whatever we're going to pay out. We'll give you 15 million and we'll call it even. And the doc says, 15, 20. Okay, fuck it. 15 million is fine. We'll go our separate ways. And they both sign NDAs. And that's why nobody really sees information. That's why docs go, I don't know why it's blah, blah, blah. And that's probably what happened. That'd be my guess.
Thank you, Destiny. Thank you. Thank fuck. Someone said the obvious. Holy shit. Oh my god.
That was pretty good.
It's a pretty good theory.
Yeah, how come you didn't come up with that already, Abba? Because it's not that fucking complicated, dog. I'm losing my mind here. What's wrong? What's with these people, man? It's like so clear that that's like the most likely. That is the most likely scenario, to be honest.
Really, there are several potential reasons for many things based on what's happening in the contract, but I don't know. Could have been to protect Twitch. It could have been to protect both parties. The victim could be involved. Unclear. Really, I don't know. I don't have any information on what following surroundings of what happened there.
That's fair. But let's say, hypothetically, in a world where Destiny's theory is not correct, do you happen to know how much leeway Twitch allows itself in terms of the ability to get rid of streamers, provided they violate? Like, are you familiar with the contracts that allow these?
Okay, we might actually wrap it up here, I think. That's a good amount of time. I've covered this for.